Welcome students for online classes. Under economics, there is a segregation of two books. First is under Indian economic development and second is under the statistics for economics. First, let's check the Indian economic development. Under that, the first chapter, Indian economy on the eve of independence. And in this chapter, we'll study the state or condition of Indian economy in the year 1947, that is, on the eve of independence. And in this chapter, we'll study the agricultural sector, industrial sector, and foreign trade. By the analysis of these three, we'll get to know the condition of the economy and even the demographic profile, occupational structure, and social and economical infrastructure. By this, we'll get to know the relationship between the population in the economy. In this video, we'll study about the features of Indian economy on the eve of independence. Before knowing the features, there are some of the terms which is very much important in economics, where the first one is national income. The meaning of national income is total amount of money earned within a country which is valued in terms of money. I'll give an example. When an individual earns money, maybe salary, wages, profit, this is known as his individual earnings or his individual money. But what happens when the whole nation's money is pooled together or taken into consideration together? That is known as national income, the income of our whole nation. That is which is calculated in terms of money. And why is this national income calculated? The national income is calculated because to know the economic growth of our country. Maybe when I take into consideration India, what happens? To what extent our current economy is growing, to what extent our economy is developing. So for that particular reason, what happens? We take into consideration the national income for the economic growth. And the next is the per capita income. The meaning of per capita income is the average income earned per person in a given area in a specified year. Okay, what is this? The average income. Where in national income we calculate the whole income of the nation, while in per capita income we calculate the average. That is the average income earned by per person in given area in a specified year. Maybe for example, if I take into consideration as Kushalnagar, I take a place Kushalnagar. So this is a specified area and I take a specified year, maybe 6 months, maybe 1 year, maybe 2 years. And what do? I take the national income and put the average to the population living in Kushalnagar. So the per capita income can be even calculated by national income divided by the population in per area. Okay, by this what happens? We'll calculate the per capita income. And why is this per capita income calculated? It is calculated to evaluate the standard of living of the population, just to know to what extent the people are, maybe the people are poor, maybe the people are rich. To know or to ascertain all the necessary things, we evaluate the per capita income. And what happens? It in the sense the per capita income even helps to compare and analyze the wealth of the different population who lives in different areas. Maybe if I live in Kushalnagar and my friend lives in Madikeri, so we compare the people, we compare the wealth of the people, to what extent the particular economy is growing, to what extent the particular economy is developing. So by this thing we will ascertain the per capita income, and even it is very much helpful for the development of our current economy. Okay, the next term is gross domestic product, that is GDP. So the meaning is market value of all finished goods and services produced within a country in a year. So what is this? If I take an example of our country India, so what happens? The whole production process which is happening in our current India is taken into consideration. So that is known as GDP. And what happens? Why do we estimate this? It is used to estimate to know the size of the economy and the growth rate. By this what happens? We will ascertain to what extent the production is made in a specified year. The specified year may be 1 year, 2 years, 6 months, depending upon the statistics taken by the economists. And what happens in GDP, what kind of people are included? Okay, in GDP, the Indians who live in India and even the foreigners who live in India. Why the foreigners who live in India? The people who come for India in search of job, the people who produce goods in our current India are also included under the GDP. And what happens, to what extent production is made, to what extent expenditure is made, or to what extent income is earned, all the necessary things is taken into consideration under GDP. In simple terms, I can tell GDP is the total production which is made in a year, that is known as the GDP. And the next one is gross national product, GNP. The meaning of GNP is sum of all domestic and foreign output created by the citizens of a given country. Say for example, I take an example of India. So what happens, what is GNP here? First is the sum of all domestic and foreign output. Sum of all domestic in the sense the people who live in India, that kind of production is taken into consideration. And second one is the foreign output created by the citizens of a given country. What happens, the people in India go to abroad countries. Why will they go? In search of job. So what happens, they produce the goods there, they earn money. So at that particular point of time, what happens, whatever they earn, they will send their money to their families who live in India. So all the money which is sent to India is calculated under GNP. So GNP is also known as the Indians who produce plus the NRI. NRI are the non-resident Indians who live in abroad countries and who send their money to the betterment of the people who live in India, which is deducted by the activities of foreigners within the country. In a sense, even the abroad people will come to India in search of job. So where will they send their money? They will send their money to their families who live in abroad countries. So that kind of money is not calculated. But when it comes to GDP, the foreigners and even Indians who live in India is calculated. But what happens in GNP? Only the Indians who produce things, only the Indians who earn money, that kind of money, with the addition of the money where the foreigner people, in a sense Indians who go to foreign people in a foreign country in search of job, that kind of amount is calculated under GDP. Okay, this is known as GNP. Okay, sorry, it is known as GNP, gross national product. Okay, now let's go on into the features of Indian economy on the eve of independence. First, what happened first is the stagnant economy. The meaning stagnant means there is no changes. The economy is in a constant stage. There is no development, there is no decrease in the development. So this is known as the stagnant economy. So what happens when there is stagnant economy in India? The growth or the development will be less, and there will be no proper development in the particular period of time. Maybe for 1 year, maybe for 2 years, what happens, there is no proper production, there is no proper money earned, there is no proper employment opportunities for the people who live in India. So on the eve of independence, what happened, it was very difficult for the people who lived in India to have a better life. So what happened, even the per capita income was very low. There was no proper development in the economy. So when there is no development in the economy, what happens? Automatically the standard of living will go down. So what happened? Maximum people were unemployed. As we all know that in India there is rapid increase in the population. So when there is increase in the population, there was no proper employment opportunities. So by this, what happened, the poor people or the poverty level started increasing. By this, what happened, stagnant economy gave a major drawback to our current India, that is on the eve of independence. And next one is the backward economy. So what happened on the eve of independence? As there was no proper growth, as even the per capita income was very low, most of the population were unemployed and the people were very poor and they didn't even had the basic necessities, maybe the food, proper food, maybe the shelter. So the people used to live in the huts and all the necessary things was made by themselves. So there was no proper shelter for them, there was no proper clothing, and even the population started to indulge in the agricultural sector. Why did they indulge in agricultural sector? Because first thing, there was no proper growth in our economy. Secondly, there was no proper employment opportunities, and even there was no proper education at that particular point of time. Because of that, most of the people started to indulge themselves into the agricultural sector. So because of this, it was, our economy was a backward economy. Okay, the next is the agricultural backwardness. So what happened earlier in the sense, on the eve of independence, there was a subsistence farming. Now what is this subsistence farming? In the sense, if you have 1 acre of land, what happens? You have a small house there. In the same place, what happened? You have only small plot where you can cultivate food crops. So what happened? The people who used to cultivate the food crops, they used to consume. They had no other option, maybe to sell or maybe to purchase from any other place. So subsistence farming means growing food crops to meet the needs of their families, growing the foods, maybe vegetables, maybe food grains, and consuming by their families, because they had no other option to purchase it from the other shops or other places, because of the money structure, as there was no proper income for the people around there. And even what happened, because of lack of pesticides, fertilizers, lack of necessary things for the agricultural land, there was low productivity. And even what happened, no proper marketing facility was made. Marketing facility in the sense, the people didn't start selling their products, they started to cultivate the product and consume the same product at the same time. And what happened, to even to fulfill their basic needs, they didn't had more and more money. Because of that, what happened, there was low productivity. And next is the industrial backwardness. What happened earlier, as every people, as the people were not efficient, the people were not educated, so what happened, the people went to agricultural sector. So what happened, there was only limited industry in the particular area or in our particular nation. Maybe on the year of independence, there were only 17 industry which were working. So at that particular point of time, what happened, only the efficient people were hired there. So what happened for other people indulged in the agricultural sector. By this, what happened, there was even decrease in the job opportunities. And even when there was only limited industries, there was no good products in our current economy. So we Indians were dependent on other abroad countries to for the import of the products. So what happened, depending on other country in the sense, mostly Britain. Why we started depending on Britain? Because Britain people had taken over our country. So Britain were ruling in our country. So Britain people started making their products, their finished goods, as the basic product market in our current economy, that is in India. So as there was only limited industries, the industrial sector was in a backward in our current economy. And even our current economy was dependent on other economy for the products to sell in our particular market. And next one, the main thing was poverty. The poverty means the state of being extremely poor. Extremely poor in the sense, there is no proper food, there is no proper clothing, maybe shelter, all the basic. It was very much difficult for the people in the earlier to lead a better life. Why? Because there was even the per capita income was low and there was no proper basic necessities. And to come out of the poverty, the people started to search jobs, which was very difficult for them, and which was the main problem is that there was no job opportunities around their village or around their places. So there was no industries also, and there was no proper urbanization. Now what does urbanization mean? Urbanization means the area becoming the standard level, maybe the development of any particular area, a village becoming a city, a village becoming a town, that is known as urbanization. There was limited urbanization where the rural, that is the rural village people didn't go to any other places in search of job. In spite of that, what did they do? They started searching the jobs around them where there was no jobs found around them, which was very difficult for them. And because of the lack of job opportunities, there was a high range of poverty around them. So poverty was one of the major drawback for the Indian people, that is on the eve of independence. And next one is the poor infrastructure. First, what does infrastructure mean? The basic things used in our society. Maybe the roads, the airports, the ports, the railways, the utilities, the education, healthcare, all these things comes under infrastructure. So what happened at that particular point of time? There was no development, there was no growth, there was no money. So there was no proper infrastructure for our current economy. And even what happens, there was no proper transportation facility for the marketing goods. So because of that, the infrastructure was very poor. Even the government didn't had sufficient money to invest in any one of the sector, to develop the roads or to develop any dams or to develop any irrigation facility or to develop any education facility, maybe health center, any of the things. The people in our current economy didn't had sufficient money. So because of this, what happened on the eve of independence, even the infrastructural facility was also very poor. So these are the 6 features where it is very much important for us to know to what extent our current economy was backward on the eve of independence. So the assignment part is explain the features of Indian economy on the eve of independence. I want you to make a notes. I want you to keep a notes, and I want you to write all the necessary questions and answers which is given under the assignment. Thank you, students.